Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia, Somaliland. Firstly, Tigray region where DDR is starting today. Disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of Tigray fighters. 75,000 Tigray fighters will be disarmed, demobilized, reintegrated in the society in the next 4 months. Details for you. And secondly, who is funding DDR? If you remember, Tigray leaders linked DDR to withdrawal of non-ENDF forces from Tigray. But no withdrawal, rather DDR is starting. Is TPLF quite about this DDR? Uh, why no statement so far? Secondly, Somalia viewers, international partners of Somalia issued a statement to raise alarm about growing tension between Jubaland and Mogadishu. Thirdly, Somaliland, where democracy on display, true democratic principles on display. Musi Bihi Abdi, the outgoing president of Somaliland, congratulated Abdirrahman Ero, the new president of Somaliland. What did Musi Abdi say? Let's start from Tigray, viewers, where much awaited the DDR is starting. DDR is demobilization, disarmament, reintegration of Tigray fighters. It is part of Pretoria Peace Deal. Pretoria Peace Deal stipulated that Tigray fighters will be completely disarmed, demobilized, and reintegrated. But withdrawal of non-ENDF forces is also part of Pretoria deal. Tigray government TPLF have been linking DDR to withdrawal of non-ENDF forces, Parity and Amhara, from Tigray. No signs of the new withdrawal of any non-ENDF forces. The DDR is starting. The head of DDR Commission announced yesterday details of the DDR. 75,000 Tigray fighters will be disarmed, demobilized, reintegrated in the next 4 months. It is starting today. Three camps have been established. One is in Makale, second one in Adwa, third one in Idaga Hamas. Disarmed, demobilized Tigray fighters will be sent to these camps. Then the completion of this first phase of DDR will take around 4 months. So after 4 months, next phase of DDR will start. Who is funding this DDR campaign? Because those who are being demobilized, they'll be paid money to so that they can start businesses. They'll be issued digital IDs as well. Ethiopian government has contributed around 1 billion birr for this first DDR phase. 65 million US dollars have been contributed by African Union, EU, US, and other countries. I was waiting for TPLF statement. What will TPLF do? TPLF will it support DDR? Will it accuse Getachew of being in alliance with Prosperity Party to implement Pretoria partially, while rejecting other important parts of Pretoria, like withdrawal of non-END forces? I have not seen any statement from TPLF so far. Waiting for that. Uh, I want to make one point. I mean, the Tigray fighters are being demobilized, disarmed, reintegrated through funds given by international community. Why did they start a war, by the way? When they were fighting, they were buying weapons, both parties. They were buying logistics too, and they were spending money on fighting. They did not consult outsiders to start a war in northern Ethiopia. Now, when they are going to be demobilized, they need international. Isn't it ironic? I mean, if they start war themselves, they should learn how to end wars, how to demobilize their fighters, how to demobilize them using their own resources. They don't have the resources. That is what they should have thought before starting a war. That is what they should think now if they're planning to start new conflicts. It's because of external support that DDR is becoming possible. Without external support, and DDR is delayed. Why? Because there was lack of financial contribution from outsiders for this campaign. So now, when money is arriving in Tigray, the demobilization campaign, it is starting. Secondly, we have Somalia. International partners of Somalia are raising alarm about the growing tension between Jubaland and Mogadishu. Jubaland due to hold election next week. Mogadishu opposing the election. Jubaland is holding indirect election. Federal government wants direct election. Federal government could declare the election in Jubaland null and void. Will federal government mobilize its federal forces to stop the election from being held? Not clear. But Jubaland cut off ties with the federal government a few days ago. It boycotted the last session of National Consultative Council. International partners of Somalia issued a statement, joint statement a few hours ago. International partner means African Union, IGAD, EU, UN, US, Middle Eastern countries, some African countries like Djibouti, etc. They issued a joint statement. They're asking Jubaland to rejoin National Consultative Council meetings. Firstly, the international partners backed federal government's one person, one vote reforms. But they say that federal government should take all the stakeholders on board. Implementation of one person, one vote system should be inclusive, participatory, with all the stakeholders on board. So in a way, they're asking Hassan Sheikh government that it should not rush to implement one person, one vote reforms. At the same time, they're asking Jubaland to return to National Consultative Council. Let's see what happens. Tension rising, definitely rising. Jubaland adamant it will hold election next month. Let's see what happens. Lastly, we heard Somaliland displaying true character of democracy. It held election on 13th of November. Election held peacefully, monitored by international observers. Diman Ero was declared as the president 48 hours ago, new president. Musi Abdi, the outgoing president, congratulated Abdirahman Ero in a video last night. He said transition will be peaceful, and he called for unity of all the people of Somaliland. He urged people to stay united. And he thanked the people. He accepted the results. He conceded his defeat. This is the beauty of democracy. Somaliland is showing some characteristics which are uncharacteristic of the Horn of Africa. I mean, where do you see this type of election held in anywhere in the Horn of Africa? Djibouti election, everyone knows what happened there. Ethiopian election, uh, where opposition boycotted. Eritrea does not know what election is. Sudan remained in the grip of Omar Bashir for 2 years. Revolution hijacked by military. So Somaliland is definitely a different area in this region. Neighboring countries, other countries should learn from democratic practices in Somaliland. We have the delayed election. One criticism, one point of criticism is that election was delayed for 2 years. It should not have been delayed. But at least Musi Abdi held the election. He allowed opposition to exercise its political right. Election was held peacefully, without any intervention, without any interference of the government, and a peaceful transfer of power is underway. Thank you for watching.